Command.
Your team is banning.
To me,
Your
fun
team
is all that
banning.
matters.
Thorns remain, should
Your
petals
team
fall.
is banning.
Let's hear from the crowd. Make
Your
some noise
team
for
is
yours
banning.
truly.
They call me a hero because I
Your
saved my
team
nation
is
from
banning.
falling apart.
Butterflies born by thy wish.
Your team is
guided
picking.
by lantern's light.
Rocks need no protection
Your
from
team
the
is
rain.
picking.
Payback time.
Muscle of iron,
Your
bones
team
of
is
steel.
picking.
Light me up and watch the
Your
world
team is
burn!
banning.
I didn't cure the pain.
Your
I
team
harnessed
is
it.
banning.
Ebsa! Sanjo!
Your team is banning.
Already got him lined up in my sights.
Your team is banning.
Time to drop the beat of the flash.
Your team is picking.
Experience the euphony of
Your
suffering.
team is picking.
Among the planes exists the equilibrium.
There's duality
which
in us
I
all.
was made
Your
for.
team
Who we
is
become
picking.
when it matters most. Aren't you gonna ask a lady to dance?
Welcome to Mobile Legends! 5 seconds till the enemy reaches the battlefield. Smash them! All troops deployed!
hero has been slain. Red team turret has been destroyed. Blue team turret has been destroyed. Blue team turret has been destroyed.
Killing spree!
Red team hero has been slain.
Killing spree! Double kill! Double kill! Shut down! Triple kill! Shut down!
Killing spree!
Red team turret has been destroyed.
Shut down!
Red team has slain the Lord. Blue team hero has been slain. Blue team turret has been destroyed.
Killing spree!
Blue team turret has been destroyed.
Double kill! Triple kill! Maniac!
Blue team base turret has been destroyed. Blue team hero has been
Shut
slain.
down.
Red team hero has been slain. Hero has been slain. Red team hero has been slain. team turret has been destroyed. Blue team hero has been slain. Blue team base turret has been destroyed.
Killing spree!
Red team hero has been slain.
Victory!
Thorns remain should
Your
petals
team
fall.
is banning.
To me,
Your
fun
team
is all that
is banning.
matters.
Sir, what's your command?
Your team is banning.
Butterflies born by thy
Your
wish,
team is banning.
guided by lantern's light.
Payback
Your team
time.
is banning.
They call me a hero because I saved my
Your team
nation from
is
falling
ticking.
apart.
Let's hear from the crowd! Make some
Your team
noise for
is
yours
picking.
truly!
Muscle of iron, bones of steel.
Alright, got him lined up in my sights.
Your team is picking.
Awaken Dreadworm, the tyrant of wrath, and burn this wretched world!
Among the planes exists the
Your team is
equilibrium,
picking.
which I was made for.
The hunt begins.
Your team is banning.
For honor!
Your team is banning.
Hayabusa, Sanjo.
Your team is banning.
Light me up and watch the
Your
world
team is
burn!
banning.
Experience the euphony of
Your team
suffering.
is picking.
Rocks need no
Your
protection
team
from
is
the
picking.
rain.
Test. Alpha is online.
The power of Leo is within my
Your
hands.
team is picking.
It's my way or the highway.
to Mobile Legends! 5 seconds till the enemy reaches the battlefield. Smash them! All troops deployed!
been slain. Blue team turret has been destroyed. Red team hero has been slain. Red team hero has been slain. Blue team turret has been destroyed. Blue team hero has been slain. slain. Red team turret has been destroyed. Team turret has been destroyed. Blue team turret has been destroyed. Team turret has been destroyed. destroyed! Blue team base turret has been destroyed! Red team hero has been slain!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back after our long break there. Once again, I'm Naisu, joined here with Leo to bring you our second match of the day of the 3 for the IESF Asia and Oceania qualifiers. And we saw a pretty dominant match from Indonesia, and Leo, we're about to watch them once again.
That's right, this is a Group B match out of Southeast Asia. There is a team here that is lost amongst geographically. Guam has been grouped with these powerhouses, and they're now going up against the powerhouse of the group in Team Indonesia, who is hot off of a, what is it now? 3-match win streak. Indonesia has taken down Cambodia, they've taken down Vietnam, and just recently they beat Laos. Is Guam going to be up next?
Yeah, and their next opponents, and we're going to see that in just a second. Once again, we've been talking about it. It's Indonesia versus Guam. Again, we know Indonesia very well. Our viewers out there too, very familiar. I saw some of the chat earlier on, and they had their kind of estimates on just how strong Indonesia was throughout Game 1 and Game 2. Guam, on the other hand, my first time seeing them really was last year's ISF. I'm not sure if it's 100% the same players. We're going to have to wait to see their team roster, but let's go ahead and reintroduce Indonesia once again to everyone. It's Aran, Witty, Kabuki, Ju, and Yehezkiel. And yeah, again, very familiar names. These guys are, just very experienced. And that's the reason why a lot of the times we've been saying that this is probably the biggest obstacle for the teams to go through, whether it's Indonesia, whether that's the Philippines, or these powerhouse teams that are very familiar on the competitive side. Now, Leo, here is our roster for Guam.
That's right. Kai, Secret, Slopesy, Zukato Zen, and Hezu will be carrying the banner of Guam going into this bout. And they've already faced off against Laos, took him to the limit, forced him into Game 3, but just the same, this is a whole nother match. And going up against the team out of Group B, I think this is their hardest match yet. I don't know if I could say, but in the history of their careers as national athletes for MLBB Esports, I could not think of a better honor to face off against the mostly part of the roster of the second placers of the recently concluded M6 World Championship.
So it's a true limit test, basically, for Guam. That's going to be the case for any of the teams that are going against the likes of Indonesia or Philippines, and even some of our other familiar teams here, some familiar players from the national sides. And that's the thing. So for Guam, I'm trying to remember last year if they had a chance to play against the Philippines or if it was also Indonesia, but I just remember shortly after they had competed and we concluded the online broadcast last year for 2024, they had found me online and they had messaged, and they were just like they were very excited and very ecstatic to just be a part of it. If I remember right too, I think last year we even had like player interviews. And we got to go ahead and talk to some of them, and the excitement and everything was there. So hopefully that carries through, because I feel like always that's the case. At the end of the day, you're up against like a very tough opponent. You can at least go in with the mindset of, let's just give it our best. Let's have some fun. I think that's always like part of the, even if you're in the competitive atmosphere, like have some fun while you're doing it. You love to play this game. That's why you're here. And maybe, again, that will alleviate some of the pressure off the shoulders, because I think sometimes, you mentioned this with the aura thing for Laos in the previous match.
Yep, there was a...
you deal with that.
There was a level of intimidation when, even in-game, like just watching them play, I could tell that Laos was in and above themselves facing off against Team Indonesia. But I'm hoping that Team Guam, after the experience that they had last year, don't have that anymore. I don't know if this is the same squad, but I know that the team behind them, the organization that's powering Guam MLBB Esports, is the same dudes. We met them on ground in the finals in Riyadh last year. We had pictures with these young gentlemen. They were such a rowdy bunch. They were fun dudes. Even in that same day that they got eliminated after their match, they came out to us and we met them. They were such nice dudes.
Yeah. So I don't know if you've ever had the opportunity to go to Guam, Leo, but it's a beautiful place. the people there are also very. They remind me in a way of, you know, the hospitality and the friendliness of Filipinos, for example. So
because they are.
They are, you know. But Guam is a beautiful place, great atmosphere, and I think that translates to their gameplay too. I think it's a lot more lighthearted. Like even from the draft or the way that they approach this could be different from what we've seen. I think they play maybe towards more of like some of the comfort picks, but I think even if you play for comfort, there's some specific heroes you cannot deny right now. And that seems to be really like the Lancelot, for example, but is still a risk for some teams that decide to just go ahead and prio him first pick blue side if that's the case. But even the sense of like the Farsas, and then of course you have the Gatakachas, some teams like to go with the Arlots. So the main thing is you can't ignore some of these heroes. Maybe you ban them out, like we've seen the 1-1s constantly banned out and everything else. I would like to see them just go that route and not deal with the Lancelot, for example. Maybe ban this out, and maybe go for like whatever their comfort might be, which we have to wait to get to the draft to see that.
Yeah, based on the amount of MLBB we've seen in the past month, teams that have these utility junglers that are the right picks for the right situations find so much success when the Yisun Shins and the Lancelots of the world are banned out. I'm hoping that the young Hans Slopesy Ramos, the 18-year-old jungler for Team Guam, has that in him. I hope that their coach, G's has... I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. G3's...
G's.
Yeah, I'm hoping that coach...
G's.
Yeah, I'm hoping coach has prepared drafts for them so that Slopesy can take advantage of that kind of gambit. That, all right, we have aggressively banned out these high-tier assassins and, you know, the menace that is Yisun Shin, who's in a class of his own. Time to bring it out, Slopesy. Go hit the Akai, go hit the Baksha, go hit the, I don't know, Lucas, who we saw it earlier attempted in the opening weeks of MPL Philippines, because I believe there's a room in the metagame for that kind of hero, a fighter with good burst. If Slopesy can do that, then they can surprise the world. They can surprise Indonesia.
I'd like to see that variation of the jungle, you know, because we've seen a whole lot of YSS and Lancelot so far.
Too much.
Yeah, a little bit too much. I get why, and maybe, again, that's why we had that little bit of a hot fix come through, but still, it could be... We might even have to wait till we get through the weekend ahead of us to really conclude on how much of an effect that had on the competitive atmosphere for Lancelot, for example. What I would like to see here, though, is hopefully in this series we get to see the Eve come through. I'm not sure if that's going to be Indonesia or Guam, but again, we know that Indonesia can definitely play it. It's still one of those things, though, like if the Farsa is open and the Jushin open, you're most likely going to go for that, you know? So this is the other thing I was going to say, Leo. Like, Guam probably was... I'm assuming they were watching the last match. So some of their bans will probably reflect that. They do take out the Fanny. That's out of the picture. So this is the Fanny and the Lancelot being banned out. We might see a priority for the YSS here unless Guam decides to take it out.
I don't think Guam should let it through. Like, you gotta ban it now.
Just ban it.
Because you're on red. You can't play for it and allow it through without getting punished. So ban it now, because we know that that's where this is going. Zushin is also still out there. Wan is still out there. Those are the 3 remaining bans. Like, if we're following the trend of the metagame, that's what should be taken out. Not in that order, but
is Wan that scary? Like, I know it's always banned. Like, is it that scary right now?
Yeah, I tell you, it is.
All right.
This is odd. Wait, hold up.
Why the Karina?
This is Indonesia testing how much Guam really hates the Yisun Shin, because it's very possible.
Yeah, I'm wondering, because I was trying to look up Guam's previous matches. Unfortunately, you know, even on the Wikipedia page, we don't have that, what they picked, but there's got to be a way, too, that they have, like, some of the other information, you know, what the players have gone through, especially when they have those matches, like, off stream, you know, through the past few days. But very interesting pick, or ban with the Karina. So the Farsa comes out. The YSS is open. I think Indonesia just goes with this and then goes with maybe a fighter gold option just to see, you know, maybe test the limit. I think this first pick will tell us
Wow!
if
So they're
lead into it.
trading Zushin for Yisun-Shin.
Unless they go Jushin first pick.
I would go Yisun-Shin.
Yeah. I think you get more flexibility with the Yisun-Shin.
That's right.
Yeah, you get the YSS. You can still pick a regular gold lane if you want to, or just go for that, opt for that fighter gold. Also, Kimmy's left open too. We've seen that combination quite a bit. Where it's that YSS and then the Kimmy. So
Yep.
there it is. Guam's got to take the Jushin then. They shouldn't give this up.
Yep. So this is where we're going. Zushin plus. Yeah, I wouldn't Zushin Phoveus. That's something we saw Laos do earlier. Didn't really do much. It's too much of a swing to ask to go both directions like that. So I'm okay with Zushin first, but what do you do with it? Zushin Fred, Zushin Baksha?
Baksha could work, especially if you just want to, you know, maintain like the speed around. It's because like YSS is pretty quick. He's pretty quick to clear. He's pretty quick to rotate around the map. They'll lock in the gold lane though. They go right for the gold lane.
All right.
And there's the Jushin like we expected.
I'm okay with this. More than the Phoveus. Even if Phoveus does effectively block out Arlots and Indonesia don't bite down, they're just building a solid fundamental draft for this metagame. Granger plus Gatot. Guam can actually go Arlot now. Arlot,
Yeah.
and then ban the Phoveus when you swing around. This is good. They're in a good spot.
They go the Arlot then? Arlot is weird, man, because again, it's almost one of those heroes where you put yourself in that position where it's like you gotta land that final slash, you gotta land that combination, and if you don't, you know, you're almost like, you're not a free kill, but like it's very easy to get killed after that if you whiff it. So
Yeah.
maybe that's also just works really well with the Jushin to
It
go ahead
is.
and help provide that. So we'll see if that's going to be the case here, and then, or if they want to prioritize maybe a jungler. Okay, it's going to be an XP lane. They go the Uranus, unless this is flex. Like there was a time
Where
we saw the Uranus
in the jungle. Yeah, but also what they're doing is they are giving Indonesia so many choices, so many possibilities. Because number one, yes, you're right, could flex into the jungle. Number two, they still leave the Arlot out in the open, so that might eat a ban for Team Indonesia. Or they might be feinting the Angela draft. Because look, these are all solid Angela picks, regardless of where you put the Uranus. You could still get like a safe jungler in the Baksha or the Fredrin, whichever you end up with. Hell, even an Alpha Lucas could do well with Angela. And that's this. Oh, it's so telegraphed, Joseph. It's so telegraphed by banning the Esmeralda. Team Indonesia, coach, save the Lucas. Do you see this?
I was almost hoping they'd ban the Esme last. Yeah, like last ban.
At least give us some semblance of deception.
Yeah, but okay, so the Kalea is going to be the choice here, again, because of the roaming options. And I wouldn't even hold it against Indonesia if they're just like, all right, last ban, we'll just ban the Angela. You know, if they decide to do that. So for Guam, down to the last ban, they might focus on another XP lane or potentially a mid, because what is going to be put in the mid here from Indonesia? The Farsa is still open. Oh no, sorry, it's banned.
Yeah.
The Jushin is picked up. So, like I said, this would be a perfect time. Just personal list. I want to see the Eve. I want to see the Eve come through for Indonesia. If not, they might play into something with a little more damage, I guess, or to deal with the Jushin here.
They get Kag. Oh, they do. Guam bans the Eve. Recently buffed. They can even Vexana. Vexana got a buff too. Indonesia just banned the Angela. Shut it down. Nip it at the bud. They don't.
They want to play it, man.
They want to play against it. They're saying, Guam, make my day. Team Guam, I dare you. Do it.
What if it's not picked up here?
Wait.
And then for some reason Indonesia takes it.
Yes, because Indonesia can still play the Angela. Look, these are Angelable heroes.
Angelable.
Right? Yeah, Yisun-Shin, Gatot, Granger.
Yep. This is the choice here for Guam. Do they take it or risk an Angela be taken from them?
Because of how the draft unfolded, Joseph, it became a showdown. It became a duel, like a quick draw. Like who's gonna do it first?
And Angela's in the middle.
Who's gonna draw? Who would have thunk?
See value in me?
Okay, they go the Fred.
Okay, still nothing, right? You still can't tell. Still very Angelable.
So they go the Fred. So that tells us, yeah, Uranus is not going in the jungle. He's going to be in the XP. There's the Lapu Lapu.
Meet the mid laner. What is it?
They take the Angela. They take the Angela. Come on, Indonesia.
If they do,
what are you gonna do?
If they do, that means Indonesia wants to play instead. No, it is the Aurora that won them the game in the first series, game 1.
Yep.
That's Yehezkiel's Aurora. Okay.
Okay, all right. I'm not gonna lie. I like seeing a different hero come through for the mid lane. You know, there it is.
There it is.
We were talking about it the whole time. We knew it.
Angela,
it was painted on the walls
from a mile away. It was sent in by snail mail. I saw it in my box this morning. Guam's gonna be playing
the old mail.
Angela. All right. The way they drafted it sure was telegraphed, but how they play it is a whole nother story.
Yeah.
They're going up against a lineup from Team Indonesia that is so hyperactive. It's so proactive. Indonesia will want to fight as soon as they all reach level 4. That's it. They'll run through you after level 4.
Yeah, as soon as you hit 4. And that's the problem too. Like, I feel like in a sense, they might rely a little bit too much on the Angela. Like, I know it made sense for the draft, but you gotta wait for that level 4. You gotta wait to have that heart guard. They could end up out-sustaining Indonesia, maybe if they are able to withstand the early rotation, but that's a big question here for Guam. I love the draft, though. I do want to say I love the draft. I think we're excited to go ahead and see if this ends up working out. Indonesia, not too much different from what we saw in the first match. So, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this matchup here. It's a best of 3 for Indonesia once again versus Guam here. Will Indonesia get to the 4-0 for their group, or will Guam be one of the first teams to give them that challenge here? Well, we'll find out.
Look at the speed at which Chin, aka Ju of Team Indonesia, is going at. Already clearing his purple, crossing the threshold of the river, taking that small camp away from Zukato Zen. So this is Slopesy is the gold laner. There you go. So Zukato Zen is the jungler here. He's not happy with just one. Joseph, he's taking even the small camp up top.
Oh, he is. So I think they're going to end up meeting here. So orange was secured for Zukato. But you can see the fight, the standoff for the Lithuander. They're going to go ahead and just kind of zone them out. Widow will charge with the Unbreakable. He's going to get tossed in. He does have the passive. Pops a Revitalize as well. There's the freeze from Yehezkiel. And first blood already in the hands of Jin. That is not where you want to be at this point.
Again, that timer. That timer got sped up. Not even level 4, Chin!
Oh! Chin able to get away with the Traceless on Witty. Will go down. A nice pickup for Hezu.
Oh, no! Aran!
Doesn't have the level 4, so can't really do too much. But a good answer from Guam, I'd say, early on.
Any situation where it's not a total landslide and they don't get folded in half and maimed for life is a good situation. Now, Aran going 3v1. I don't know if this is a good start. Can he do it? He is doing it!
Oh my. Oh my. Aran able to pump out enough damage. Does get the stun in. Witty's going to go in. Goes in. Nice cleanup. Shield Heart goes down. Now Hezu joining the fight. Aran. Secret. Not level 4. Turtle's already secured by Chin. But the fight still breaks out as Hezu will fall. And now the purple buff is for the taking. And I think Zukato's going to be way too late. Falling behind this too, man. He's only level 3, and then his purple buff gets taken.
And this is the point of no return. If Guam don't secure their side of the map, even as early as 2.5 minutes, then this is going to go sideways. It's already very risky, as is AOG starting it up. Witty!
Oh. Again, Witty, top of the Revitalize, does have a passive, but I think it's too much of a risk to go get a hit. Gets thrown over the wall with the Lantern. Now Zukato will jump on in, able to take out Witty. This was all for the orange buff for Guam, and they'll fight back to keep it, but they are losing some space. Oh no! Chin takes the orange, pops the Mountain Stalker. Zukato in trouble, has the Heart Guard from Shield Heart, so he'll survive, but man, he's almost 3 levels behind here.
If you're 3 levels behind at 3 minutes, something has gone wrong, and I don't think you need an analyst to tell you that. Team Guam, I think one thing they're doing right is they're not picking fights where they shouldn't. Look at this, Zukato Zen. He sees Aran. He sees that this Lapu Lapu is 2 levels ahead of me.
Oh, they're going.
I know not to go, but oh wait.
Oh,
Aran!
no.
It's 3v1!
Aran, can you
4v1!
Oh no, it's 1v4. He jumps in anyway, gets Zukato. Now Yehezkiel Wiseman joining the fight, has the freeze, gets the Revitalize out. Frigid Glacier going to be popped. Again, initiation Withy jumps into the backside with the AOG, gets the Unbreakable Taunt off. But still, as tanky as they are, Hezu's going to be fine. They fight under the turret. They're going to go for it anyway. Wiseman will take down Hezu, and now fighting under the turret. Who cares about the turret? They get everybody under the tier 1 plus the turret. Indonesia again collapsing down on Guam.
And that's the turret falling as well. This is the second turtle straight up going to Indonesia. Not a shadow of any members of Guam in the lower half of the map. What's the story for the gold lane, though? This is Kabuki 2 levels up. Slopes, he's not having a great time. Oh, no!
Oh, and Yehezkiel Wiseman. He's going to push him back. The lane flickers forward to get the stun. Oh, the Purify's going to be used. Jin, no, can't get the shot either. So Jin's going to go down. An overzealous attempt on the life of Slope Ezzy will punish at least Jin. So a little bit of a hope there, I guess, for Guam. You know, at least it's not a kill, and Shin goes down. But now Zukato gets the shield, the Heart Guard from Shield Heart. They have enough CC to go ahead and deal with this too. Iran could be in trouble, even with a little bit of shield. Oh, what a shot! Solbezi will pick up a kill with a Spear of Destruction.
Shield Art coming in clutch. In the same situation where the team was losing for Team Vietnam, didn't even press the Heart Guard. This is showing signs of life for Team Guam, that even when they're down about 5k gold at 5 minutes, they're still here to at least contest. Team Indonesia have slowed down, but the fact that you still see Kabuki here going from lane to lane, farming up everything. Slopesy! He's gone! I was gonna say that could have been the one time the Moscow could have gotten farm. I think they're 1 step forwards, 2 steps back. Guam is still in the danger zone.
100%, because, you know, even with that, Chin, with the YSS, that's what we were saying in the draft, he can rotate around the map so well and quickly. And, you know, with the level power that he has, I mean, he's level 10, he's got some of the itemization already in place. Like, you're going to be able to pick up kills like that easily if you find a Slopezi or anyone on these off lanes. So definitely something that Guam might want to keep in mind. I don't think they're in contention to really contest this third turtle of the game. It's just going to be started up by Indonesia. They have full control of this side. Unless Guam throws themselves into this fight, they're still down quite a bit. So that's exactly what they're going to do. Turtles are already secured, but there's Indonesia collapsing down. They take out the Angela. Shield Heart's gone. Zukato's gone. Hezu to follow. 3 fall for Guam.
Stacks for Kabuki's Sky Piercer. And Joseph, just a little bit of insight. Again, Guam is really trying to get back on their feet. I could have sworn Yusun Shin was going to get nerfed, wherein the Mountain Shocker was going to see major changes. I could have sworn that was what the change would be for him. But it's more damage output. I don't think that's a problem. I think the problem with Yusun Shin's ult is the CC. The sudden, the little stun that comes out of that.
Little stun, yeah.
That little skateboard. I think that's what changes the game here.
Yeah, look at this. Layered CC after layered CC. A Heart Guard not going to be enough to keep him in the game. Hezu falls. And they forced to just pop everything, nearly, just to survive the pressure from Indonesia as they take down the tier 2 turret up top. They're going to get this Holy Shield already at the 8-minute mark. The Lord's still less than a minute away, but Holy Shield going down, and maybe the next is the tier 2 in the mid, unless Guam is able to fight this off and keep it together. They do have everybody up they are able to go ahead and form as a team. But look at this. Once again, the pressure jumping on in. Aran taking a ton of damage. Jesus falls, and Aran still buying enough time to stay alive until finally he goes down. Revitalize and Witty goes over the walls of the base. But still, I think Indonesia exactly happy with that. No, that's the damage from Chin. Again, both shields, all shields of the base are popped. And now Indonesia, are they actually going to go for a base turret? Guam on the defense. Zucano will jump in, but he just, even as tanky as is, he gets frozen with a frigid glacier. Hard guard again, not enough to save them. This Angela was the play for them, but Guam has not been able to make it use. A Spear Destruction will land. So busy. Look at the damage though. One shot will make them go back and disengage. Again, Indonesia just showing how far ahead they are.
Joseph, Chin is dealing an ungodly amount of damage. Oh my God, Leonardo! Kabuki gets a double. I was about to say, Kabuki does not want to get outshined. He might get punished.
Oh, he did. Another Frigid Glacier going to be used. Secret on that whim. Oh, what a flicker from Aran. They do have the waves, and they're just going to end the game here, Leo. Under the 10-minute mark, Indonesia taking game 1.
Indonesia's going for a record here. Lowest average game time. Not that it means much, but wow, they really are just trampling through all the competition here in Group B. And Team Guam, I think it's a sound strategy what they were going for. It was written all across the draft. They were going for an Angela strat, but they might have been too honest with it. They put their hearts on their sleeves, and they got punished for it.
Like the Angela pick made sense to us, but you know, when we were leading into the load-in to the Land of Dawn, that's what I was saying. Like, it can work for them. They can sustain pretty well, but if they get behind early, like, that's where the trouble was. And I think the pressure that was on Zucato's jungle, like rotation, is really what slowed them down. Again, he had quite the level gap against Chin, and even with this, you know, at this point, they're just 4,000 ahead, but because of the lineup they have and just how ahead Chin was with damage and what you mentioned with the YSS and the ultimate on the Mountain Shocker and everything else, they're able to make plays like that, even on the tankier heroes like Jesus.
It's just hit a critical mass. Again, there was one sequence here in the orange side jungle of Team Guam wherein Chin wasn't even there, and it felt like they were layering parts of even the Mountain Shocker, but the truth was he was far off. He was farming their side of the jungle. So where does that put us now with Team Guam? Number 1, again, the draft isn't a problem. It's just really tighten up your fundamentals. Maybe don't be as honest as the first phase. Allow some, you know, modicum of suspense. Don't let your opponents read through your draft, because I think what Indonesia did was a stroke of genius. They didn't even worry about the Angela draft. They played a draft that was gonna win against 9 out of 10 other possible drafts that Team Guam could have come up with, even if it wasn't an Angela draft. So this is Indonesia showing us a lot of comfort. Number 2 is there's got to be something to this Aurora. I don't think it was touched in at least the past 2 patches. This one included, the most recent one today. So what is Yehezkiel doing with it? What is Indonesia's wise man doing with this Aurora? Because he's picked it twice now tonight.
I think it's a very wise play, all pun intended, because I mean, it allowed that little interaction with the freeze or the frigid glacier allows great setup potential, but it can also be used as disengage if you have to, or at least like a threat, because like that's what we're seeing. So many teams that are engaging into team fights, or so many team compositions that glacier and just that area that it set up, so that AoE of that presence. That AoE is enough to stop teams from pressing on forward. But then in an instance like this where you're ahead by quite a bit, it allows you to set things up and down to even the early skirmishes. And it works really well with the YSS. It works really well even with a Granger. You got to think like a Granger can then just kind of have a heyday, which we saw towards the end there with Kabuki just kind of like shooting off the Rhapsodies and the Destinatas at frozen targets, you know. And then he had like I don't know how many stacks he had on the Sky Piercer, but it just works really well to keep people in place for the rest of this team from Indonesia. And I think that, I don't know, man. I think we might even see the Aurora back-to-back, like when we get to game 2.
Yep. And now that you talk about it, it's nice to have been reintroduced in the metagame that a hero in mid could provide so much CC and self-peel utility. Because if you're thinking about mid laners now that are in demand, that have good CC, you're thinking Selena, number one. Like, who else in the game can stun for about 2 seconds and deal that much burst? But she's very fragile. She can't hold her own when she's out there. You think about Eve, who has a great kill box, but also you're relatively vulnerable. Like, you're only relying on your shields when you cast spells. Aurora, on the other hand, has solid CC and has a second life effectively. So, yeah, I think I can follow. I concur, Yezkiel. I concur.
I concur as well, man. I'm going to have to start picking Aurora if I get a chance to play mid. But that's game number 1 here for this best of 3. Indonesia taking the win for that. We're going to take a short break, about 4 minutes or so, before we head into game number 2. Again, I'm Nice. This is Leo. We'll be back after the short break. And welcome back. After the short break here, once again, I'm Naisu, and this is Dan, Mr. Dan Leo, to bring you the action for game number 2 here. Once again, it's a matchup with Indonesia versus Guam. It was a very quick game. For game number 1, Indonesia dominating the idea, the mindset of Guam of let's build a lineup around this Angela pick and sustainability or heals and everything else, durability. And it didn't work, Leo. It went wrong.
Much like our friend LaFell from just across the sea, he always brings up these sayings from the elders in his life. And one saying I have from my childhood is, honesty is the best policy. In this case, it wasn't. Indonesia saw the Angela from light years away and decided to just, pick heroes, especially in their later part of the draft, blue 4 and 5, that don't care about an all-in 10th pole draft, because that's exactly what this was. Is they wanted to pick heroes that were very strong individually, that once the Heart Guard went in, could change the tides of battle. What Indonesia did to answer that, just a butt ton of CC. Even their core, even their jungler had CC. I'm talking about the Yusun Shin with that later half of the Mountain Shocker. So now, another chance for Team Guam to take us back, maybe force game 3. How do they do that? Maybe try to get their hands on a Lancelot, Yusun Shin, I don't know. This is a start, but I'm afraid for them. Because opening up with a Karina ban shows that Indonesia has zero fear. Indonesia is literally looking you in the eyes and saying what you're gonna do.
Yeah. Just go with what you want. That was a very deathly stare, by the way.
Oh no, my camera just froze.
Oh, did it? I was gonna say that was a very.
I really.
I was gonna say you got me there, man.
No, I really stared. It's literally what I think Indonesia's doing. Is because they're stone cold. Like they didn't even masquerade their whole "we're throwing away a ban so that we can open up heroes for you." It's literally Karina first. You know that the draft has gone wrong.
There's got to be something to this Karina though. Like maybe there's just maybe there's a global Karina over there, man. You never know.
Zukato Zen, I think it's maybe, maybe. But I am more of the school. I'm not shutting it down. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm more of the school of thought that let's just ban one thing randomly because we need something. Something's got to give if we let off one ban.
Yeah. So I think this is going to go the same case. I think Guam is telling us that they want to go with the YSS. Like, they want a shot at the YSS here. They ban out the Farce, the Lancelot, the Fanny. Indonesia is left of, do we ban the YSS out? I think they don't. I think this is almost even a test for Indonesia to be like, give the YSS over to Guam, and then let's like play into it. Again, they need teams need those reps to play against the YSS, as it's a common pick right now. So Indonesia will take out the CC. I expect Guam to just go for the YSS, but Jushin is also open if they wanted to go there.
It's going to be the trade, Joseph. It's going to be the YSS trade for the Jushin X.
Yeah.
One or the other. And I think it'll be worth it. I think Guam is going to be okay with the Yusun Shin because, again, it provides global vision. So they're able to play defensively if it comes down to it.
Yeah, definitely. And also the... What else is there?
Whoa!
Wow. Okay, is this the right move, though? You really want to take Moscow first priority pick?
We've been to this place before. We've seen this. Wherein the obvious hero is open, and both teams refuse to do it because whoever budges first gets punished. So I think Guam read into it, and now it's now or never. Because even Indonesia did not fully commit to the Yusun Shin just yet. They picked the Jushin, they picked the Baksha, and they can still flex the Baksha. More likely, again, we've seen it more often now than ever, that Weedy prefers to use the Baksha rather than Ju.
Yeah, and I think that's the move that we see a lot of the, powerhouse teams like to do, is they leave you in a guessing game because they pick up a hero, especially in these first phases where it's like they could still be flexed. There's at least one that could be flexed in, so they'll take the glue and the Gataconcha. So interesting, because this is the honesty that we were talking about, man. You know, you've got the glue, going XP. Got the Gatakancha, going in the Rome. Indonesia will just go ahead and pick up their Granger.
So by picking the Granger and the glue, instead of picking Yusun Shin, they pick answers to the possible Yusun Shin, and Indonesia refused to budge. They refused to give an inch. And they say, no, we're not picking it. They go for the Granger, put it in the hands of Kabuki. And Yusun Shin is, again, weirdly enough, still at large. I wonder if it'll get banned because Indonesia's not doing it. They instead ban another three-lettered Y hero in Eve.
I want to see her played, man. I do. Like, I need to see it at least once in IESF.
Once tonight.
Like, yeah, hopefully tonight. Hopefully, if not, like, hopefully the next matchup. You know, maybe we get to see it there. But yeah, the Eve being taken out here. I think Guam's still going to go ahead and focus on. Maybe they want to take out a Rome, like some of the Rome options. But like that's the thing. Witty could just take this Baksha if he really wanted to. So I think that's the decision that Guam has to make. It's like, do we go ahead and hone in on more of the jungle, like jungle options?
You know what, Joseph? It's also possible that what if Indonesia are going for a Angela draft themselves?
That's true. This is the likes of it, I will say. You know, it's the starting pieces to the puzzle of it.
Because they can still do Rome Baksha, or rather, no, Jungle Baksha, Rome Angela.
Mm-hmm.
And the last time I saw this, I don't know if it happened anytime in the groups, but
When you gaze into
Gijushin got a savage. I'm talking about Virtus. No, was that first? No, that was Influence Rage. I'm talking Influence Rage from the wildcard of M6 earlier this year. Yeah.
Interesting, man. So they could be playing into that as they banned out the Selena. Guam could be getting a hunch of this too, and they might. I don't know if they want to ban out one more jungler. Imagine they just swerve and just ban out the Angela, like just so that that's not something they have to deal with, because you know there's good damage here already with the Moskov, like that early pickup, and then you know you have your front and back line covered. You have that front to back doing really well. They'll take out the Lapu Lapu, which is a quality ban too, because exactly what we saw Iran capable of doing. Actually, just Lapu Lapu in general, but this is also something that's usually banned out, and now you have an Arlot in play.
I still wouldn't put it past Indonesia. The Angela can still come in. The Arlot with an Angela in it, built slightly damaged, is still a thing to behold. It is still a force of nature that you should respect. And now Guam has no more answers left to put into the EXP lane. No room for a Phoveus. No room for an Esmeralda. They still need a mid laner and a jungler. Do they Hayabusa here?
They Hayabusa. I think they go Hayabusa. Wow. We haven't seen Fairness in a while. Oh, Nolan. Nolan.
Hey. We are throwing back to about a year ago. That's the last time these heroes were in demand. That's when they were all in style, all the rage. Indonesia can still... Nope, I was going to say they can still Angela, but no, they get a Matilda. So, what a swerve. Really, the only synergies I see from Indonesia is just battlefield mobility and an all-in plan for Kabuki. Like this, he's their only real source of reliable damage.
Yeah, I want to say like the Nolan pick and the Fairness, even though it's been a while since we've really seen them, I just think the Nolan could be really good. Like this could work out really well for Guam if they can get a lead in the early game. Now the hard part about that is dealing with this durability that is a Baksha and a Matilda. So if they decide to be a little aggressive, or if they're more so like responding to Indonesia, then I could see Guam being in trouble. But if you get Nolan kind of snowballing early on, because remember, he was gapped pretty hard in the previous game. So if Zukato can have a better start on this Nolan, I want to believe that Guam can go ahead and make this lineup work. So we'll find out if it's going to be Guam to take it to a game 3, or if Indonesia is going to get another sweep under the belt here in this day number 4 of IESF. So you guys in the chat can let us know too. Do you think it's going to be a decisive win? Oh no. And he's going back. He's going to jump back in. He knows he has the double buffs and the support here with Witty. Shieldheart going to be in trouble. Pops to revitalize the shots from Leonardo though. Come on. Oh, the first blood. We'll go over to the chin.
They broke her heart. She's the first casualty and they're already up by 500 gold. So this is one major strength Team Indonesia has. They don't have burst, but they have sustainability. They're just going to keep going. Now they're on the Zucato Zen.
Oh no. Zucato, this is what I was saying, Leo. He's going to be delayed again, and now Shieldheart in trouble. Zucato stops the recall. Good pull, though, with the Shadow Stampede from Secret. Able to go ahead and at least get a kill in the hands. They get, of all people, they get Chin.
You know what? Chin's not even hurting for this. Chin is a utility jungler. So this one death isn't outdone by the 2 kills he's already had, and he rolls up just as quickly into the turtle. This is clearly going over to Indonesia.
Yeah, this is going to be an objective in the hands. Indonesia, they fought hard for it. Oh, Flicker final slash. Initiation going to be started up. The glue already taking a ton of damage. Just to fight for the purple buff, though. I'm not sure if Zucato, he's only level 3. He lost the purple too. Netherrealm going to be used already. It's still Shieldheart's gone, and now Indonesia all this side. Another triple stampede pull into the turret. Is it good enough, though? Swamp is there. Slope jumps in. Spear Destruction. He's able to find Winnie, and now working on Wiseman. Indonesia might have been a little bit too much off as it's a double for Hezu. A great response from Guam.
Massive punish coming in from the squad in Guam. Underneath tier 1. Again, the fact that the turret was a major part of that engagement doesn't change the fact that Indonesia isn't as strong just yet. So that's one power spike they have, you know, the ultra early game. But mind you, Kabuki was a part of it. Oh, he smacks Secret right underneath his tier 1. So I wouldn't say that I wouldn't call it quits just yet. But Guam should still play it safe. I think Guam should still get farm on Zucato Zen. Like, that should be priority number 1.
Man, it's you know, when Indonesia decides they want to kill, they'll go and get it. Now, I will say, I know Secret, he's been doing good at getting those pulls, you know, the Shadow Stampedes. He's able to punish some of these moments where Indonesia decides to get a little over-aggressive, but I don't think that's going to be enough to kind of stop them. It's not going to be something that keeps them from second-guessing, because look at this. They want to continue to put pressure on Zucato Zen. Chin with the rest of the team just trying to zone him out from this purple buff. The turtle's up, but did Zucato get it? I think, again, the plan... Oh, whoa!
What?
Wait, what?
I don't even know where.
Oh, man, okay. All right. They had to... All right, looks like we're gonna go ahead and take a little bit of a break here. I'm not sure what happened to Secret.
That was a bit of a doozy. I'll tell you now. Even in the mini map, I was struggling to put a beat on where that happened, how that happened. Possibly a turret. So I don't even know what lane.
I don't know if he just like ended up running off or something, but yeah, we'll have to wait to see exactly what happened. But even aside from that, Indonesia continued to put the pressure. I'm not sure if Zucato, if I was able to confirm if he got the purple buff, but
yep,
Turtle's gonna be up too. So did you manage to see?
We'll see when we get the camera on him, because I also did not exactly see, because I think I heard a retribution from both players, and almost in the same second time frame. So that's also very risky to think about, because there's a turtle spawning literally right now. As soon as we unpause, there will be a turtle up top.
Yeah, so for Guam, I would say, you know, even looking at this, they're not too far behind. The biggest person behind, again, is Zucato Zen. And this is what I was saying. I like the Nolan pick, and I like what maybe the game plan would have been here, but you can see how much they have to support Zucato right now to be able to actually like get his buffs, for example, get the jungle camps that he needs. So I don't know how long they can continue to do that, but the pressure now, Leonardo will go ahead and get on out. Zucato is there, but won't be able to find Kabuki. So Revitalize is going to be used. Guam healing back up, but Turtle's just going to be taken. Yo.
The sad truth is it wasn't even on him. He didn't get it.
He didn't get it.
He didn't.
Oh.
He's starved. And now Indonesia are back in the driver's seat. Indonesia are in total control. Suddenly, because of the relative quiet after that punish in mid, they've gone back up to 2,000 gold again. It went from about 500 gold, 0 lead, to now just 2,000 clean.
Yeah, and you can see this. He's got his orange buff. Sitting at level 6.5 though to Chin, who's almost level 9. And this is where you see Indonesia start to go ahead and focus on the objectives, opening up the map a little bit more for them. They already got the 2 turtles. This is going to be the turret that they go ahead and lock in. First one of the game. They'll go ahead and rotate off of it too. So this is at least a good attempt to go ahead and trade things out. I'm not sure if Iran's going to be able to do much. He does go in with a final slash. He's just trying to clear the minions out. So he's nearly there. One hit there. He's tanky enough too to keep just, what, 4 members of Guam at bay. And here comes the rest of Indonesia rolling on through. Slope's going to be gone. Zucano to follow, all under the turret. A good drag once again as Chin is punished. And a play too as Iran will go down. So Guam still showing teeth, still showing that they're willing to go ahead and fight Indonesia.
Rolling up the sleeves, doing the work where it matters. Unfortunate that Team Indonesia could have synchronized that play a little better. They were going for a triple lane push. In mid, they sent over the roamer, Witty, to take down that mid lane tier 1. In the bottom, they tried to play a Hail Mary and convert through the roof by getting Kabuki to push that tier 2, but this is how this is what they end up with. If you ask me, if they switched up a little bit of their priorities, if it was the Matilda who were joining them up top, maybe they would have survived.
Oh yeah, this, even if they try to survive, oh, what a drag on back into the final slash too. Again, this flare is just too good with the Jushin from Yehezkel, Wiseman, and they get 2 kills off of it. So, you know, that's the thing. It's like Guam is finding these moments where they're able to go ahead and capitalize on some of the kills, some of the, you know, the pressure that Indonesia puts through. But every single time they do that, you mentioned it's like you get 1 step forward, you take 2 steps back, and that's what's happening here once again in this game too. So Indonesia, whoa, they'll get this. Whoa, he jumps on in. They do save the turret. I was going to say that tier 2 was going to go down, but I don't know for how long. That wave's still pushing in. They'll zone them out. They're dealing with the mid lane. And now Indonesia is going to make their way finally to this side of the map. Tier 2 in the bottom does go down. Hezu gets dragged on back again. An AOG from Shieldheart. Shieldheart jumps on in. Zucano just does not have enough damage, even with the setup that he was looking for. A final slash already going to be used. We're relying on the Netherrealm to stay in the fight a little bit longer. As Chin goes down, but Aaron able to pick up the kill. And now Leonardo still has the space to work with. Glue just sticking on here. Hezu looking to take out Yehezkel Wiseman, but takes a couple Rhapsody shots to the face and dragged into the death. And now jumping in. Iran with a final slash, able to find 2. Shieldheart lined up from Leonardo. Picks up another as 3 fall for Guam.
There is a delicate balance of sustained team fighting Guam can only partake in. After the Netherrealm has expired, after the AOG, after Hezu gets 1 or 2 successful mounts, I'm being very optimistic here. Indonesia just wins because they have the final slash which can displace members of Team Guam. They have the puissance that softens the initial salvo of Guam sustainability. And then they have Leonardo just keep going and going and going. As long as he has bullets, there's reliable damage coming from Indonesia, not even discounting the fact that Aran might be a solid source of damage too, and Wiseman to clean things up. Just a matter of time before he gets his Sky Piercer. Zakato's in!
Oh! Again! The final slash able to find the mark, but Zucano falls anyway. Holy Shield in the mid lane, gonna pop. The next to be the bottom lane. Lord is still 15 seconds away, so Indonesia will just work on these shields. And they'll make their way to the Lord here. Guam falling further behind at this point. And this is scary. I mean, there's a reason why the Arlon does get banned out quite a bit. And like I said, if you're just on the mark with the final slash, you're going to be able to make the play. So now they want the mid turret. Jin jumping up at the front side. Slope going to try to keep him at bay, pushing him into the wall. They rely on the Netherrealm. They already got that out too. Some of the damage on the turret, but now looks like they're happy with that. They'll go for the Lord.
Yep, that's a green light for Indonesia to do whatever they want on the map or against Team Guam. But given that the latter is locking themselves inside their base. Instead, rotate towards the Lord. SOD thrown out. Slope Z. A hope that they could steal, but instead does the wise thing here. Does not press the button. Lets it go. First major objective over to Team Indonesia. They got to do some cleanup though, Joseph. Look at this. A slow push up top. They left a chubby wave from Team Guam, able to push that.
Yeah, I think even with that, I don't know if they're going to be able to do anything with it. You know, it looks like they're just going to patiently wait here. Maybe go for a play. They see Jin walk up and they're like, nah, I'm out of here.
Forget about it.
So they'll have to defend against this. Yep. Lord's going to push in. Mid-turret's going to fall. Indonesia might look to end the game with this. 10,000 hit. There's the flicker forward again. Zucata going to be in trouble. They try to keep it at bay. NetherRealm going to be used. And there, Witty jumps on with the circling eagle. So far, the Lord's going to be cleared out. Good damage coming out from Slope, but still, Sheath Heart going to follow. Now they have another wave pushing in. Hezu will do his best to keep them up front from ending the game. Final Slash going to be used again. It's a double. Another Sky Piercer proc here, forcing Zucata back. And now Secret trying his best to keep them in the game as he falls. Indonesia full force without Leonardo, though. Will they be able to go? Aran jumping on in. It does find Slope, and that's a big kill for him. There's a Final Slash again to clean up Zucata, and it looks like that's all Indonesia needed. But they don't have a ranged character to hit this further. The base is still standing, and they'll have to just back off.
The perfect hero was left to respawn and defend away, and I think Indonesia respected that. Secret with the Faramis, able to punish clumps of enemy units and clear them out. We've seen it years and years after this hero's release and rework that Ghost Bursters will do that, and Indonesia decides to play it safe and play for another Lord. Impressive by Guam, but they're still not out of the woods, Joseph. I think it's still a huge mountain they have to climb. 9,000 gold between them and Team Indonesia. While some cracks are showing for Team Indonesia, I think they're far from worried. I think they just know that it's a matter of time. This next Lord has their name written on it.
Yeah, and at this point, I don't know, man. I almost expect Indonesia just to even try to end it without the Lord take. You can see they're focusing up top. Final Slash going to be used already. They take out Hezu, the front line so far for Guam, and that's going to be a double as Secret falls too. So they force the fight with the Final Slash, and now looking to end the game potentially. With that Lord still being 30 seconds away, they'll take the last base turret of Guam out. With the waves still pushing up top, they need to wait for the waves from mid to bottom. Unless they have another idea. Final Slash going to be used, base going to be locked on. They're just going to force them to fight anyway. Cannon minions still up, and Indonesia will go in for the kills. The triple for Leonardo, looking for possibly a Maniac, even into the base, but doesn't get it. Gets shut down, but Indonesia doesn't as they sweep Guam.
They didn't need to wait for the Lord. That was just way too much time. They ran through their minions, their heroes, and their base. And that's what you get with a 10,000 gold lead. Team Indonesia with another sweep.
Man, that last, sequence there, I was thinking they'd wait for the Lord too, but Indonesia was just like, no, we have enough of a lead. And this is what we see from teams that have, the experience, the veterancy that this Indonesian team does. And they are 9